Alright, hello and welcome to the channel. Paramay Trades. This is Paramay's Trade Journal. And today we're going to take a look at the CoT report, Friday Roundup edition for currencies. We'll just pick up where we left off last week in preparation for a week of trading. So another interesting week of trading. Thursday, Friday, saw a little bit of market correction with some of the with the commodities here, but we're going to take a look at the currencies. Data's in the raw right now. We haven't really updated it, so our 100 index. It's nice every once in a while to see the index up over 100, so you get a real clear picture that some net highs have been set in terms of commercial interest. So, if you're new to the channel, anything over 80% by commercial interest is looking pretty positive. Anything under 20% is looking pretty negative. So, bullish, bearish. We like the 6-month index for a little bit of swing trading, a little bit of intraday trading. It helps us out a little bit. And so we're just going to take a peek at currencies. So this is what we were looking at last week. This is our watch list for the currencies. So we had said that the Canadian dollar looked pretty good. The euro dollar looked pretty good, but I don't usually watch this chart just because it's just a really tough chart to play in terms of liquidity. I think it's just, I don't know, it doesn't look appealing. Mexican peso was one that we were still monitoring, and that had a nice response last week. There's some good money to be made in the Mexican peso, but is it turning down? We'll take a peek. So the top of your list on the currencies, still on the watch list here: Mexican peso, Canadian dollar, index coming down. I think this came down. A little bit from it did last week too. So where we got our index here? Take a look at our dollar index. Just hovering around the same. So it's hovering around that bullish territory. But we had pointed out a channel with the U.S. dollar. We said that if it got up over that channel, it was probably a good time to be a seller if you're playing the U.S. dollar. So we could take a quick peek at that, if we'd like here, and also see Australian dollar. Not looking as strong as it was previously. I did not follow the Australian dollar last week because there was too many good charts to play. So looks like this is turning down a little bit. So we'll just take a quick peek at the chart. So, and then we've got our middle ground that we thought might materialize in the next few weeks. British pound still kind of hanging out in slightly above negative territory. And then towards the bottom of this list here, we've got Euro FX, Swiss franc, and Japanese yen. And these moved a little bit last week. So I've got a feeling that maybe the 6-month index isn't giving us enough. But I don't think it was anything to warrant accumulation with Japanese yen. So the yen just not looking stellar like it had a handful of months ago. It was about a month and a half, 2 months, something like that. Alright, so next few weeks on Japanese yen. Well, I mean, if you're bearish, you can play the chart. Let's look at the top and let's look at the bottom, and let's just get through this. So top of the chart, here's your bullish. Bottom of the chart, here's your bearish in terms of commercial interest. Take a look at the Canadian dollar, and then we'll take a look at the Mexican peso. So where are we with the Canadian dollar here? Commercial interest. What are they saying? What are they indicating? A little bit of selling here. A little bit of selling. Com's still bullish on this. Com's still bullish, so it looks like we're running a pretty good price range on the daily. So the lower time frames look a little bit better, but here it was WPR not looking like a good time to be a buyer towards the end of the week, with WPR in the overbought territory. So does commercial interest help us out here? I mean, they're really maintaining a bullish stance on the 6-month index for the Canadian dollar. So let's bring up the 2 chart and just see what this looks like. That's my 3 chart. Where's my 2 chart? There's our 2 chart. 15-minute time frame is always one of my favorite time frames, but I like to scroll out a little bit and see what's cooking on the 1 hour. Oh boy, well, this looks a little sloppy, right? We're back down in that 50% range in this value area. Look at this sideways trading. We damn near double top on this. Seller's waiting here. Seller's sitting by in this area, getting a little anxious. Didn't quite get up there. Seller's got a little anxious and pushed back down into this value area. So once we broke this uptrend, now we've got a different look. So yeah, not quite getting back up in there. So a lot of the trading happening down in this range here. Right about in this area. So probably better time to be a seller up in this area. Back down to the 50%. Let's see if we can find some support in here and maybe start moving the other direction. Maybe we'll get into this chart a little bit more individually, but comp's still looking pretty bullish. Some sideways action going on. Better time to be a buyer. Down in this lower value range or value low range, and better time to be a seller up in these areas. So well, that's that, huh? I really did like the Mexican peso chart though. Just a lot of sideways trade, and COM's really bullish on this. So if we pull up the 2 chart or pull up our 3 chart here, COM's looking really bullish. And as we had pointed out, previously, we really liked this combination of factors, which was commercial interest looking really bullish, open interest just damn near bottoming out right now in relativeness to the rest of the open interest indicators. We like it when it's really low and comms are bullish, and we like that WPR and the oversold. So quite probably and quite possibly, this is a really nice accumulation box going on for us right now. A lot of selling off and bouncing around, finding an equilibrium. I gotta think that this is going to have some more upside to it at some point. I'm just waiting around. With this WPR cooling off a little bit, I'm looking to again be, a buyer at the lower end of this range. I'll bring the 2 back up. Just nice sideways trading all through this. Ample opportunities to be a buyer on the lower end of the range. And COM's not really giving up on this chart either, so great opportunities to be a buyer on the 0 coefficient and the -2.5. That's what we're always looking for. Good time to be a buyer. And then here's this downtrend channel, right? We popped up over the point of control. I think now's a pretty good time to be a buyer down in this area. 0 coefficient plus this very moderate downtrend look, if you will, or value range trading between the 2. So anything over that 1.25 coefficient, was a good time to think about being a seller up in here. And then we had this, this value range, since March, point of control that looked pretty good. So it's hard. I mean, it's hard to want to be when it lost that. I think I was looking to be a buyer here, but then it broke down and it didn't give us what we were looking for. But way better opportunities to be a buyer down on the lower end of this value range, and especially on this point of control. So this chart looks good to go the other way. Really good opportunities down here, as there was previously. So watch this area. I think this is best place for accumulation, and we've got a nice swing going. We've got a nice swing. If we don't drive lower than this, I mean, even if we do drive a little bit lower than that, way better opportunities to be a buyer down here. So Mexican peso still on my list, and you know, 1, 2, 3 great opportunities. Are we going to get a 4th great opportunity to be buyers here? And you know, we may not have known that this was just yet that this was gonna be the developed you know, longer term range that we were working with from middle of March to, you know, beginning of May. But now here it is, really good opportunity to be a seller up in here, and then they come short again. But is it done yet? Is it done? And I got to think, with comms being as bullish as they are, this just looks really good. This looks like a nice accumulating chart right now, and I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it like we have been playing it. Right. So Mexican peso. What does the Canadian look like again? You know, is this a viable? This chart didn't look as neat as the Mexican. You know what? The heck with this. Let's just do this real quick. Let's just clear this out. You know, what do we have? What do we got working? Can we get a nice area to work with here? Because a lot of these currencies are starting to look the same, right? You know, they're kind of bottoming out. They're trying to find. They look like they're accumulating, finding. You know, where's the point of control? Does this look pretty good? If we're looking at a horizontal point of control here and value range on the Canadian dollar, this looks pretty good because it's trading above. It's trading above this point of control, so good opportunities to be a buyer along the point of control, or control price, as Laurencia would say. So now that we've got this developed and established, you know, trading range, just, you know, a lot like Mexican peso back in the early part of March, now back in this, so for the last 2 months now, this is the area to be a buyer, and this is the area to be a seller up over the 1.0 coefficient. So this is what we're working with right now. And this was again. So are we going to get another better buying opportunity on the Canadian dollar somewhere down here on the point of control? We've got to watch it to see, you know, as long as it doesn't break down. But if it does, you better believe, you know, that I'm going to be a buyer down here with comms as bullish as they have been. So here's the low of the range. If it gets down there, I mean, are you not going to be a buyer down here? One would think that you would want to be a buyer down here, but we're going to have to see a break. We have to see a breakdown first, right? You know, come down and challenge these buy setups, these buy spots, and see what's going on. But I would be, I'd be waiting here in the wings. Maybe waiting in the wings for something, because this retrace did not bust down this point of control. Canadian dollar looking pretty bullish for you know, in terms of commercial interests. So I'll bring it up again just so that we know. But comms just sticking to their guns up in here, not letting up. Canadian dollar could look pretty good in the next coming weeks. So, you know, much like the you know, the Dow Jones. Are you buying dips? Because we've been talking about that for it seems like months now. Dollar index, let's just take a quick look at the dollar index because it does have bearing on the rest of these charts. I would say especially the Mexican peso. So, you know, this is what we had pointed out within the last couple of weeks in the Friday Roundup reports. That we didn't want to be a buyer up in here. We did not want to be a buyer up in here, and it broke down. And it broke down. So and it collapsed well below this, you know, this 50% range too. So which bode well for for the Euro FX. But we did not want to be a buyer up in here. We said we would look to be a seller, and and bulls just couldn't get up over this previous high. So we're still stuck in this value range. So much like a lot of the other currencies, here we are. Well, this is a little bit further back in March, and this is, you know, it started happening towards the end of March, but just right in this range of trading again. How's it going to look? Well, Thursday, Friday didn't look that stellar for stocks. We'll take a look at those on the indices report, but which do look pretty good still. But Thursday, Friday did not bode well, and so here we are with the dollar. So I mean, unless this starts to break down, probably better buying opportunities down here. Better buying opportunities down here. So we can even clean this out. We can even clean this chart out and do the same thing that we've been doing on a lot of our other charts here, and we can get a nice horizontal set working for us, where this is the value high range, and can we find a low value range where the point of control makes a lot of sense? Now, this makes pretty good sense. Pretty good, pretty decent amount of trading going on. Rejection, a little bit of build up and a break, and then here's this resistance up in this area that we couldn't get up over. Better buying opportunities, right about where this cluster is, and just below to be a buyer. Right down in here. Right down in these areas. Unless something drastic happens. I mean, we just... So watch the dollar, but here we go. Swing, or we're going to go back the other way. Okay, that's a dollar. We can just take a quick peek. Why don't we just we'll do a good majority of them, right? We might as well. I mean, nice week of trading coming up. So let's look at the Australian dollar. Oh, what a mess. What was I looking at here? Oh, nice downtrend. A lot of excessive trading. We're gonna need a bigger chart here. We need a larger chart. Higher time frame chart. Where's commercials looking? What are they looking like? My favorite thing to do. My favorite thing to do is to keep moving open interest off of this area. Favorite thing to do. We also did a video, it's in the YouTube channel, about the consistency of using price channels on the higher time frame and then viewing them on the lower time frame. They're inconsistent, and that bothers me. So there is a fix for that. So if you got a problem with that, take a look at the video that we did. So this was a channel that this is a channel I was working with, and this was pretty steep, right? And this is why we were looking at this in this way. Well, let's just get rid of it. More calm. So we're not in that extreme territory that we were looking at previously in the 6-month index and the 3-year index, and this is what we'd like to see too, right? This is the perfect combination. Perfect time to be a buyer. Are you brave enough down here? Comms are bullish. Well, why are comms getting bullish down in here? Well, look how low the price is. Are you brave enough? This looked like it's stuck in the mud on the daily, that's for sure. This knife looked like it's stuck, and that looked like a nice swing. I mean, look at that, right? We even trade higher. And once we break that, so here's your swing pivot: higher low, lower low, higher low, and we trade through the higher lows, highest high. So this previous candle's higher high, and then we find support here, and away we go. So this was your setup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things working in favor to be a bull on the Australian dollar. So I hope you made out like a bandit. There it was. So what's this uptrend look like? We're just, we're gonna have to get a higher time frame on this chart so we can get some better action. I mean, this was just excessive. So here's that technical test that we were talking about right in here. There's that technical test, and we can even, put it on this pivot if we wanted to. Now that we got that lower time frame. And there's that technical test. When we start breaking back in, there's that trading around the point of control. Is this thing gonna take off, or are we just gonna bust back down into this? Because good opportunities, good opportunities to be a seller up in here. Because boy, that was violent. Boy, that was extremely violent. I know. We're supposed to be doing commercial. Maybe this will keep me from having to do a lot of individual videos here on the currencies, but and maybe this will just get you guys through this too. But way better, opportunities to be a seller up in this area. Any excessive amount of trading around this range, but or is it going to break? Com's not optimistic on the Australian dollar right now. What can we work with here? And I think that's why we had presented that channel. And this is probably a better looking channel than the one we had previously. Trading high above the point of control, looking pretty decent here. And start to break down and get a lot of confluence going on in this area. We've got the long-term or longer, higher time frame downtrend channel working, and then there's the 1.0 coefficient rate in this area. So, good opportunity to be a seller up in here. Probably one of the better opportunities to be a seller, to short sell, would be up in here. Up over the 1.25, and then, I'm sorry, up over the negative 2.5 coefficient and the 0 and the 1.0 coefficient up in here. So it's just a good recipe for be a short seller. Let's see if they can find support and just keep moving before keep moving up before this breaks down a little bit, and start trading below the point of control before it breaks down. Not as excited to play the Australian dollar at this point. Maybe we'll watch it. Maybe we'll see what's going on this week. Let's look at the bottom of the chart. The yen, the franc, and the euro FX. So let's look at the yen real quick. Japanese yen here. What's going on? A little sideways trade. Yeah, I wasn't excited about playing this chart, especially where comms were recently. Just didn't look appealing. Didn't look like we were going to break one way or the other. I just looked pretty stagnant. Yeah, we've talked about this. Watch last week's video. I'm not going to talk about it again. It's just we're right in this range, so we're creeping up towards the high of this range. I would think about being a short seller. And comms aren't really that bullish about they're holding a pretty negative outlook. So what's our combination? Negative, and if this is the relative high of the new year, or within the last, it's not the relative high. It's just a pretty stagnant, kind of relatively low. So relatively, we'd like to see it relatively high. We'd like to see open interest relatively high in bearish comms, and then we'd like to get in on the short sell. I think this is just kind of approaching a peak again before the short sell. And comms not optimistic at this one at all. I mean, this one's, they're well under 20%. So Swiss franc, I think it looked quite similar. Yeah, I mean, comms not bullish on this at all, and here we are with WPR, and now finally watch last week's video too. WPR oversold, overbought. Sorry, overbought range. I mean, just open interest is relatively low here. Comms not very optimistic about this, and this is approaching the higher end of this range. It just looks like it might be a good time for the short sell. Some may argue, well, we've got a three marching look here. This not ready to go yet. Well, where's the equilibrium? I'm not a buyer here. I'm not a buyer. I'm not chasing that. I'll be looking for a short sell soon though. And the last one, so we look at the yen with Euro FX. I thought the Euro FX started to look a little bit more promising this week, but did it? Yeah, I mean, starting to move a little bit, but is there some kind of relationship going on here with the dollar index? Was the dollar index kind of, like we said before, kind of hit that peak and then turned around? Oh, look at that. Where's that value low range from this small box that it's working with? So I don't know if we're chasing up here. Com's still in bearish territory, and open interest is really high. So this combination of factors make me think I really don't want to chase the Euro FX up here. I like the chart. I think I played it last week, but there was a little bit of price action. Where's my 2 chart here? I gotta get this straight. Oh yeah, well, we're just same as the other charts. Even on the 4-hour look, we're approaching that value high range. This is not a good place to chase. This is not a good place to chase and be a buyer, I don't think. With the way the markets are, this just doesn't look. I'm not. You do whatever the hell you want, but these were better places to be a buyer on the 1.25 and below that, and I'm sorry, the 0 and the negative 2.5. Here's the 0. Here's your 0. Here's your negative 2.5. And anything above, trading excess above the 1.0 and the 1.25 looked like good places to be sellers. Is this a good point of control? It looks pretty decent. I mean, that's the 4-hour look. Yeah, I think we're approaching kind of a value high area, and better opportunities to be a seller up in here. Okay, all right, we're rambling on. I think this has dragged on long enough. We've gotten a combination of things, both commercial interest look and a little bit of price channel action. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for leaving comments. We really enjoy those. Discord chat community. The server address is located in the description. Come on in, pop in. We'll talk about the charts. We love talking about the charts. I post my trades throughout the week. Don't usually get a great deal of videos off during the week because I like to trade the charts and I'm just doing some other stuff. So I want to come and talk about the charts. Let's do it. But that's the currencies look. Top of the charts. Canadian dollar. I'm still watching the Mexican peso. Bottom of the charts. Swiss franc, Euro FX, and Japanese yen. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you find yourself on the profitable side of the trade. We'll see you again on the next video.